This is Tank's vlog for September 14, 2017, wrapping up the day in sports. Thursday night football, week 2 NFL underway. It was the Houston Texans at the Cincinnati Bengals in a game that was as dull as dishwater. Now, Deshaun Watson, I think he's going to be a decent quarterback, and he had a great run. But Bill O'Brien, with the offense, every time that it was 3rd and 1, it was going to be the same play. The Texans had a very predictable offense out there. Maybe it's because Watson is trying to learn the playbook. They had a short week, and he just became the starter after Tom Savage completely blew it. Savage was so bad on the first half Sunday, you had to take him out. And Watson's got at least a little ability. Savage, I don't think, has any ability. And Andy Dalton, I think it's coming to an end in Cincinnati. The Bengals made the playoffs a bunch of times, couldn't win a game. And Dalton was always feast or famine. You have a good game here, you have a bad game there. And when the spotlight was on, he had a really bad game. And now he's just plain bad. And I picked the score. I nailed it. Check through my weekly picks. NFL Week 2. Sponsored by MyBookie AG. So if you want to get on the action, if you would have gotten on the action last night, you'd be counting the skadal. But the game just was a really bad game. J.J. Watt, great tackle on the lateral madness at the end of the game. And Deshaun Watson had a great run. But it was just... ugh. Where the real excitement, though, was on the other end of Ohio. As the Cleveland Indians did it again. 22 in a row. The first 21 games, most of the games they blew out the teams. They had no walk-offs, they didn't trail late in any games, no comebacks. It was just total obliteration. Tonight, though, was different. Indians down 2-1, 9th inning. Francisco Lindor double off the left field wall. Tie game. New life in Cleveland, and in the bottom of the 10th, that hustle, well, you knew when Jose Ramirez got a safe on that hustle double, you knew the game was over. You got the walk, and then you got Jay Bruce. With the walk-off double. Jay Bruce must feel like a prisoner who got paroled early or found out that he was in the death row, and they found out, oh, it's a big mistake, you're going home, you're a free man. Hey, meanwhile, the rest of the Mets wallow in misery. Again, 14-6 Cubs. Ugh. I said last Saturday was the last Met game I'm going to, and it is. I don't know how many more games. I can't watch this team anymore. I feel like I want to gouge my eyes out watching this team. Seth Lugo, I don't know if it's his elbow or what, or how long it's going to hold up, or if he needs Tommy John surgery. And if he needs Tommy John surgery, get the damn surgery. I think it's time to put him in the bullpen. It's 3 innings, and then he hitters out. And the rest of the bullpen is just pathetic. They just come in and walk everybody, especially Hansel Robles. Hansel Robles, his the entrance song should be, I will walk 500,000 batters, and I will walk 500,000 more, just to be the man who walked 1,000,000 batters to ruin the life of everyone. A nightmare, a nightmare, a nightmare, a nightmare every time Hansel Robles comes in the game. He can't pitch. When he throws it on a plate, it gets hit a million miles away. So he throws it to the backstop on a game-ending walk-off walk, you see. Hanzo, you are the worst pitcher on the New York Mets. Yankees got 2 home runs from Aaron Judge. Is he out of the slump, or is it just he really, really likes to feast on the Baltimore Orioles pitching staff? But the Yankees are beginning a 4-game series with the Orioles, leading the wild card comfortably, and still pursuing the Red Sox. They kept pace with the Red Sox. Red Sox won earlier. With the win, the Indians' magic number is now 3. The second wild card is the Twins right now. So they have to keep winning, and they won today. So that's just so they keep track there. The Twins have a 2.5-game lead for the second wild card over the Angels. The Yankees have a 3-game lead overall in the wild card race over the Twins. So the Yankees, barring a huge collapse, are at least going to make the playoffs. National League, the Diamondbacks have a 5-game lead for the first wild card spot over the Rockies, and the Rockies have a 2.5-game lead over the Brewers and Cardinals. So there's your races. That's what's to look for as baseball hits its stretch drive. Those wild card races and the Central Division in the National League, where the Cubs, who after feasting on the Mets, leave to have a 3-game lead over the Brewers and Cardinals. Today's 3 stars are Avisail Garcia, who had 7 RBIs, went 5 for 5 as the White Sox plastered the Tigers. Aaron Judge, who had 2 home runs and 6 RBIs, and the Yankees win over the Orioles. And Zach Godley, who did not allow a run in 8 innings as the Diamondbacks beat the Rockies. Today we have a very special birthday shout out to the man. He, to me, still is, when he was at the top of his game, the best quarterback ever. And that is Dan Marino, turning 56. You can bet I'll be watching that football live tonight. And we take a look back 40 years ago when Earl Weaver pulled his team off the field on a rainy night in Toronto and got a forfeit. Earl Weaver, he was some sort of character, and this is just a crazy scenario. And they were in the middle of a pennant race too. They lost by 2, ended up losing by 2 games. So they were losing the game at the time. So who knows what would have happened? Maybe they could have come back. It was an expansion team they were playing. Keep in mind. So check out Barstool Sports and Sports Encyclopedia, where sports history lives. And tomorrow, it's Football Friday. I'll be giving you my college 6-pack picks, brought to you by MyBookie AG. Get in on the action. Good day.